Welcome to All Theory, No Conspiracy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click to receive notifications, and leave a comment. This is all about making connections. Featuring John Hinckley Jr. There will be no attempt to draw any conclusions from the material in this video. This is about presenting some very interesting connections in the life and actions of would-be presidential assassin John Hinckley Jr. Are you ready? Step inside. On March 30th, 1981, U.S. President Ronald Reagan was shot while on his way to a limousine after speaking at the Washington Hilton Hotel. His would-be assassin was identified as John Hinckley Jr. Reagan was seriously wounded in the assassination attempt. He was struck by a ricocheted bullet under his left armpit, which caused him to suffer a broken rib and a punctured lung. White House Press Secretary James Brady, Secret Service agent Tim McCarthy, and D.C. police officer Thomas Delahanty were also wounded. Brady suffered brain damage and was permanently disabled. His death in 2014 was considered a homicide because he died as a result of the injury. Hinckley was said to be obsessed with actress Jodie Foster and had allegedly written her numerous letters prior to the day of the assassination attempt, where he expressed his love for her. Many news outlets compared Hinckley Jr. to Travis Bickle, a character played by Robert De Niro in a film called Taxi Driver, while saying that Hinckley was obsessed with the film. You talking to me? Hinckley had supposedly also thought of killing former President Jimmy Carter to impress Ms. Foster. This made Hinckley's alleged obsession even more believable, as Jodie Foster also had a featured role in Taxi Driver. John Hinckley Jr. was the son of John Hinckley, who had been a longtime friend and business associate of then Vice President George H.W. Bush. The Hinckley family at a time lived close to the Bushes in Midland, Texas. Hinckley Sr. was also a campaign contributor to various Bush political campaigns. It was later revealed that John's older brother, Scott Hinckley, was set to be a dinner guest at Neil Bush's home the day after the assassination attempt. Neil is the son of then VP G.H.W. Bush and brother of former U.S. President George W. Bush. George H.W. Bush had his mind set on becoming the President of the United States in 1980. He ultimately had to lobby to be Reagan's running mate after being soundly defeated by Reagan in the 1980 Republican presidential primaries. The Bushes are tied to two infamous American entities, Yale's Skull and Bone Society and the CIA. G.H.W. Bush was an operative of the CIA in the 1960s and was CIA director for 1 year from 1976 to 1977. Prescott Bush, G.H.W. Bush, and G.W. Bush were all graduates of Yale, and all were Skull and Bones. According to Skull and Bones legend, Prescott Bush was among a group of bonesmen who dug up the grave of Geronimo in 1918 and removed his skull and femur to take back to Yale. Jodie Foster was attending Yale at the time that Hinckley Jr. made the attempt on Reagan's life. Ms. Foster was a member of Yale's Manuscript Society, which is considered to be a sister society to the Skull and Bones. An interesting fact is that Jodie Foster and George W. Bush are related as ninth cousins, once removed. Their common ancestor was a man named John Parmalee. For his part, John Hinckley Jr. was found not guilty by reason of insanity on charges of attempting to assassinate President Ronald Reagan. He was remanded and confined to a Washington, D.C. psychiatric facility called St. Elizabeth's Hospital. In January 2015, federal prosecutors announced that they would not charge John Hinckley Jr. with the death of James Brady, despite the medical examiner's classification of Brady's death as a homicide. And finally, would-be presidential assassin John Hinckley Jr. was released from institutional psychiatric care on September the 10th, 2016. These are very interesting and significant connections between John Hinckley Jr. and the Bush family, and of the Bush family to Jodie Foster. Perhaps they explain how a would-be presidential assassin who was found guilty in the death of a government official was set free in 2016. The end? Stay tuned for more content from All Theory, No Conspiracy. Thank you for watching.